Worst metal album ever. Definitely St. Anger, hands down. I remember, like, you got to understand too. If you're a hardcore Metallica fan, I'm 48. You grew up in the early 80s, and their first four albums were their whole attitude was we're gonna go against the grain, right? We're gonna make metal. We're not gonna make radio-friendly stuff. Um, and the subject was, like the electric chair, suicide, fade to black, dark stuff. But at the same time, it was like really like they didn't give a fuck, and they were full of piss and vinegar. They were young, they were angry, and it wasn't necessarily always fast. Sometimes they slowed it down, but it always had like this dark feeling, like For Whom the Bell Tolls. Fight Fire with Fire had that like end of the world feel. Obviously, Ride the Lightning. You're gonna die. You know when you're gonna die. Oh my God. It's a tinge political. Like, hey, we're against the electric chair, but I think it's more of a vicarious thing. Like, picture you being the guy, right? Oh my God. Let's just get it over with. A lot of frightening things, but that's probably one of the top, right? Knowing that. The whole point is they either made subjects about war or like you're a vegetable, like from your point of view. Oh my God, it's so, or blackened, see your mother put to death, see your mother die, like, oh my God, holy shit, like that end of the world feel, or that always from, I guess, yeah, from the victim's point of view, like, which is the opposite of what Slayer does. Slayer does things from the killer's point of view, and I think Jeff Hanneman said, it's stupid to do things from the victim's point of view. I guess when it came to serial killer subjects, maybe, but like Metallica almost always made things from the victim's point of view in a successful way, but that's either war or trying to end your life, or trying to or facing something like the electric chair, something like atrocious, right, that we're all afraid of, or we'd all be like, holy shit. And at the same time, their music fit that, like, where it was like awesome, like so dark, so, whatever. And then when you saw them live, it was like, holy shit. I've never seen them live, but I mean, I've listened to bootlegs, obviously, I've listened to live shows, I've seen live shows. And they still got it. They still got it in the 60s. But, like, the whole point is, their first four albums were like, we're not going to sell out this and that. And then they met Bob Rock. And by that time, I don't know why to this day, and I'm sure a lot of people don't, but, well, it could have been from losing Cliff. Yeah, there was no bass in And Justice for All, but me as a metalhead, I never even noticed a bass anyways. Now I do, but at the time I didn't, so I never really gave a shit about the bass not being in there. All I cared about was right. So then you got to figure, though, show after show after show, they're playing the same thing, and then they wanted like 5-minute songs. And I think by the time And Justice for All came to pass, I was the same way. Like, there would be 10-minute songs with like 5 different riffs, and it would go on and on and on, like To Live Is to Die. Even now, when it comes on to my car, I'll skip it because it's so long and so do. So then they said, okay, we want 5-minute songs that are crystal clear long and radio friendly. And by that time, as a fan, I didn't mind. It was still heavy enough, the Black Album, but it was still, and it had solos, but the lyrics are stuff that grabbed out at you, because everybody knows some holier than thou person that thinks that they're fucking better than you and uses the Bible to their advantage to somehow, some way put themselves above you, even if you are a Christian. Everybody can relate to that. Sad but true is like a philosophy, you know what I mean? I'm you, sad but true. And then everybody can relate to nightmares in that moment where you go to sleep and you have a dark dream, right? Enter Sandman, and then they nailed it with Unforgiven. So many people grow up in this abusive religious atmosphere that tries to take them and mold them and shape them into somebody that they're not. And you either go along with it or you're a rebel, right? So it's like you look at what you could have been, and it's like the song just fucking nails it for you. You know what I mean? Now I'm not saying every religious, ordeal is abusive, but I've been through good and bad. I've been through that. Won't get into details. It's about the music. It's about this album and how much it sucks and why it sucks. Okay, so after the Black Album, it's a happy medium. Okay, they got radio-friendly stuff. It's still heavy, 1996 rolls around, and that's 10 years after Master of Puppets. Okay, now 10 years when you're 21 may seem like a long time, but when you're 48, 10 years is nothing. So you're waiting for this big fucking album to come out, right? Okay, I can forgive the Black Album, right? Now you're waiting for this big album to come out. And the first thing you hear on the radio is "Out of My Way, Out of My Day." What the fuck is this? This is the same dude that sang Master of Puppets that you've meddled out for, thrashed out for fucking years as a loyal fan. And he's taking that, and not only that, as a musician, some people don't understand it. They're instead of a drop D, they're turning it up. So their music is hard rock now. It's not the lower. Tuning it lower is thrash. Tuning it up is hard rock. And it's like, what the fuck is this? But I've waited 5 fucking years. So on one hand, you're disappointed. On the other hand, it's like, it grows on you. It's a lot of songs, and they're heavy, and they're only 5 minutes long, and you hear them on the radio, and it's like, it takes a while, but I kind of like this. It has solos. It has meaning. It has everything, right? Okay, the older I get, the more I like it. I don't know if that's just because I'm getting older, but the more I like Load. And then Reload wasn't as good, but it was still hard rock. I can relate to Fuel, Give Me Fire, Give Me That, which I desire. And I'm in my prime, right? I'm going to the gym a lot more in my prime. Okay, I like it, right? No, it's not Master of Puppets. No, it's not Ride the Lightning, but it's still heavy. And then they did the Garage Days, and that was like, oh my god, that's fucking awesome. Misfits and Turn the Page. I liked it. I loved it. Whiskey in the Jar. I actually had an Irish friend at the time who had a famous Irish singer as a father, and he actually came over for her graduation class of '99, and he did Whiskey in the Jar with Metallica. He did the cover song. He was like screaming. It was awesome. And it was like, that was a time when 98 was 98, 99-ish. Yeah, it was, I liked it. I liked the vibe, and then they did the orchestra. I loved it. Okay, fine. So after the orchestra, we're waiting, and we hear the interview with Lars that, the next one's going to be really heavy and this and that. And what really pissed me off wasn't the finished product as most, okay, it sounds like this Class B demo. It wasn't just that it didn't have solos. It wasn't just that it sounded like the new metal vibe that was going on at the time. What really struck a nerve in me was watching the movie and watching Kirk Hammett try to do solos. He was doing solos, and Bob Rock saying, whoa, 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 what are you doing? And him having to be the peacemaker and saying, fine, I'll go with it, no solos. He did it because Bob Rock, his fucking producer, told him not to do it. Can you picture Bob Rock trying to tell Kerry King, you can't do solos in this because I want it different? Kerry would have fucking said, fuck you, get the fuck out of here, right? And yet, not only is Bob Rock telling Kirk Hammett, Kirk Hammett, whatever, he can't do solos, but he goes along with it, and Lars is all for it because at the time, nu metal was at the top, and he wanted what the teeny boppers liked at the time, and they went with that, and it was heavy. It was, you could see him doing the drums. It sounds like fucking bean cans, by the way, and clunk, clunk, clunk. No solos. Sounded like shit. Drums sound like shit. Production sounds like shit. Bob Rock is shit. And that, but what's funny about this album is it's like one of those things that you just throw against the wall time and time again. This fucking album blows. And yeah, somehow, some way, I still keep on listening to it. I think I do it just to see how much it sucks, even after all these years. It's been, what, 20 years? This fucking album still blows, but somehow, some way, I come back to it, I listen to it. I think this is the absolute worst fucking album ever fucking made, metal-wise. And, you know, even James jokes about it to the crowd from what I hear, you know, when he does it live. Come on, you'll grow out of it. I can forgive Metallica because, A, they only did it once. B, when time goes on, it's been over 20 years, I still listen to it, even though I fucking hate it. I don't know why. And C, once they got rid of Bob Rock, in my opinion, all the 3 albums that they've done since are fucking gold. Okay, maybe it's not Master of Puppets or Ride the Lightning, but it's loud, it's got solos, it's got meaning. It doesn't have Bob Rock, and that's what I like about the next 3 albums that they did. You know, Death Magnetic, it was actually produced by Rick Rubin, and a lot of people don't like it because it's too fucking loud. I like it because it's too fucking loud. And you can hear the frustration of Kirk Hammett with his solos saying, okay, that asshole is fucking gone. You know, now I can do solos. You just hear it. Like, okay, now I can make up for lost time. And, man, Death Magnetic, heavy as fuck. And then they parted ways with Rick Rubin, fine. You know, I was satisfied with the heavy Death Magnetic album. And Hardwired to Self-Destruct was fucking awesome. I fucking loved it. You gotta understand, for their age, yeah, it was awesome. And the new one, 72 Seasons, I mean, for their age, it's good. They're singing. It's still heavy. It's still got solos. It's still, once again, it doesn't have Bob Rock. And that's what makes it good. Maybe not the greatest, but that's what makes it good. All right. And that's my opinion. Peace out, my fellow YouTubers.